with a darker eye than normal today because I've already messed up. Hello and good morning, ladies, and welcome back if you're one of my wonderful subscribers. And if you're new here, welcome. I am Jax, and this is a channel where I share about my infertility journey, my adoption journey, my IVF journey, whatever I happen to be on that day. Today, I'm gonna make the very special announcement that we went live. The husband and I are live at our adoption agency. And if you're like, I don't super know what that means, don't worry, you're not alone. It was definitely the #1 question I got after I made the Instagram post announcing that we went live. Instagram here. But I'm making a video today to answer the question of what does it mean to go live and what happens going forward, what are the next few steps. I'm gonna be doing my makeup during this, so yeah, get ready for like a chatty makeup video. More like I needed to multitask to make this happen today. So I'm gonna be looking here because that's right here. I'll move my mirror a little closer to you guys, so not that close. I'll go that close so that I don't look like I'm just staring off into the abyss. 2 weeks ago, we had our final meeting with our social worker from our adoption agency to sign papers that essentially said, yep, we know how much it costs, yep, we know there's no guarantees, and to go over our plan for placement and stuff like that. So what that means is up until now, we have paid our first entrance fee with the agency, and we've gotten our home study done, and we filled out all the preliminary paperwork about what we would be okay being matched with. Now that all of that is done, the next thing that will happen is we will get a phone call eventually from our social worker to let us know they have a new potential birth mama in the program. And I'm going to be talking about specifically my agency, but I think a lot of this carries over to other agencies or they have slight deviations on it. When they get a new birth mama in the program, they will look at all their active profiles, see which families match best, and then they will Snapchat. And then they will contact the families that match and ask them if this situation is one that they would like to be shown to. First, birth mama commits and they vetted her very well. Usually it takes at least a month for them to talk to her again, make sure that she understands completely what's going on, and then approve her to be matched. So after all that, and our agency keeps us up to date even when there's just mamas that are perusing and asking questions. So like I know that there's 2 potential birth mamas that they're working with right now that could come up to be matched within the next few months. So after they chat with the mom, vet her for a little while if they have time, obviously. If it's an emergency placement, aka one where they just come into the hospital and are like, I had my baby, please help, then you know they can't wait a month. But for all the other situations, they wait a month, then they call the birth families and say, hey, this is the situation we have. Are you interested in being shown? So at that point, the birth families can say yay or nay. And the ones that say yes, we are okay with being shown to this potential birth mama, they show her the profiles and then she gets to pick from there. Okay, we're going with a darker eye than normal today because I've already messed up. It's the weekend, so who cares? I'm not the only person that does that. Like they start out with one makeup vision, then they're like, oh gosh, oh man. Okay, well that's what we're going with today then. Because, whoops. It's okay. Just add in more eyeshadow on top of it. If any of my beauty vloggers have taught me anything, it's that you just keep layering on and then eventually magic happens. And I'm gonna ignore the fact that they're beauty vloggers and I'm an infertility vlogger and that methodology probably isn't gonna work for me. We're just gonna be in denial until I can't be in denial anymore. Okay? Okay. So right now, like I said, there are 2 potential birth mamas that have not been matched. And now that we are live, there are 5 potential families. There are 3 more working the home study process, and there are 4 families on the wait list for this agency. This agency only did 12 adoptions last year, but it sounds like they're picking up steam a little bit. Okay, well, that could have gone better. Whatever. It's weekend makeup, so it's the time to experiment and try new things, right? So right now we are waiting on our agency to call us about a situation. That could be a situation with a birth mama that is just ready to be matched, so somewhere between 20 and 40 weeks came to them. Or it could be that there's a situation at a hospital and, you know, they need to show profiles right away. Let's say we get the call, it's an emergency placement, the baby already has been born. What happens next? It depends on if the birth father is in the picture, whether they know him or not. What can happen in emergency placements is they need to do their due diligence to try to find the father if he is not accounted for and isn't going to be there to surrender his parental rights. That takes time. So best case scenario, they know the father, they can get a hold of him, he's willing to surrender his rights with the birth mother. That happens 48 hours later in our state. That's the best case scenario for emergency placements. Worst case scenario is they need to do some due diligence to try to figure out who the father is. Then they need to try to track him down. That takes time. We have opted then to have the child stay in a short-term, essentially foster home. They have a specific lady that services their agency, so it's always the same lady that these babies are going to. They stay there for a few days or a week or so, depending on how long it takes to get through the courts to have the father's rights terminated, and then you could take them home. You may also take them home straight from the hospital as a risk placement, and you have to sign extra paperwork being like, hey, it's really risky. We opted not to do that because I don't think I can handle a baby coming into my home and then being taken away, if that makes sense. So and the foster lady lets you come visit them every day, and I'm sure the social worker just glowed about her. And sorry, using my viewfinder now. Sorry, ladies, multitasking. The social worker had nothing but good things to say about this woman, so that's chill with me. And that would just only be in an emergency placement where the father is not available. The birth mother does have complete rights during that time. She can definitely say, no, I changed my mind at any point, whether it's emergency or not. So that's the risk of adoption. Until those papers are signed, the child is not yours, it is theirs. But yeah, so that's what we're waiting for. Obviously, if you get your profile shown, you don't have a perfect chance, or you don't have a guaranteed chance that they'll pick you. The one example I have from this agency is they called 4 families about a situation. 2 of the families said they'd be okay with it. And obviously one of them got matched with that birth mama. I mean, it's better odds because it's such a small agency, but it's also no guarantees. Does that look okay? Does that look okay? Say as if you can tell me before I reintegrate with the world. I think that looks okay. Let me get you out of this horrible, horrible lighting so you can actually see what we did today. I'm sorry, I do not know how beauty vloggers make themselves look attractive in all of this. Does that look good? All right. All right, let me know if you have any other questions around what the next steps of adoption look like. I will be putting out a few more skill up videos around open adoption and various topics that I've had to research while we go through this journey. But let me know if there's anyone specifically you want me to cover. And until next time, ladies, keep on fighting.